everyone. Oh, last thing, I'm gonna check the roster, see who's here, if everyone's getting into class okay. And I'll give you my quick 1 minute pre-class spiel, my quick 30-second class has started spiel. The 23rd of July. I just can't even. Okay. So, welcome. Got like 1 official minute, during which I usually just like chat onward. If you have chat onward, I don't know if that's a sentence, but if you haven't been to my class, I chat a lot. I'm Dana. It's so nice to have you. I'll give this whole spiel again, but I won't cue anything with blocks today. But if you like blocks to bring the ground closer, you can have it. I lied. I always lie about the props. They're fibs. They're not lies because I'm not doing it intentionally. We will use 2 blocks at the end of class. But if you don't have blocks, you can use, well, I also have a pillow. And you can use a pillow and or like 2 pillows, 3 pillows, blanket. So maybe grab like a nice pillow and blanket right now. And any pillow. I just have a couch pillow. For neatness, hidden in my little cove, but I just have a couch pillow, so you could grab a bedroom pillow, a couch pillow, and you're comfortable just like sort of laying over on your mat. And then if you want a blanket to pad your knees, that would also come in handy. We will be doing a lot of low to the ground work. And then if you've never been to Strength and Stretch, this is perfect timing because it's 12:15 on my watch. If you've never been to Strength and Stretch, welcome. It's a little like fun change of pace from the rag vinyasa. We'll do a lot of strength work and a lot of stretch work, but it's not like we'll do, push-ups and then a pec stretch. We sort of will, but it will be intertwined in a slow flow vinyasa class. So we'll move a little bit slower around the mat, and we'll definitely do more dynamic movement that aren't necessarily something that you would do in a typical vinyasa class. And then that's all I'll say because at the end of 40 minutes, you'll know exactly what this class is like. So let's get going. Again, I'm Dana. It's so nice to have you. It is quite warm. If you're working without AC, manage that. I do tend to intertwine lots of breaks, mostly because I need a water break, but there will be sort of signaled breaks. But if you need something else, please take it. And we've got nice legs and abs day today. So yay, right? Yay. Okay, if you want the blanket across your mat, we're going to lay down first, but you might want to just put it across the center of your mat now, so I don't forget to cue you later or you're not sort of fumbling with it later. If it'll bother you when you're on your back, though, you can do that after. Just remember, after you get up off your back, I'm going to say tabletop, and that's when you'll set up your blanket. So just so we get all the props out of the way. And then I won't cue anything with the blocks until the end of class, but if you do want them to grab them, bring the floor closer in any folds. They're there for you if you have them. If you don't have them, water bottles, again, anything just to bring the floor closer. Book, a pile of books, your bricks. I think everyone has their home set up by now, but if not, those are great tools to use. So just start on your back. And I start all of my classes, for those of you that know, just with a teeny bit of breath work, and it's not even like there's no fancy name for it. I just like to arrive on my mat and start to notice my breath. And for me, that's a tool that I can use to just be present now on my mat. So when everything else is sort of flying in and out of my mind, I just like to use all of the aspects of the breath. So there's like a sound to it. So start to notice the sound of your breath. Even if you're not directing it yet, we'll direct it in just a moment, but just start to notice the sound of your breath. It might be subtle for now. If there's a warmth to your breath. So all these like physicalities to the breath, and then notice the body's reaction to the breath. And what I mean by that is when you breathe deep into your belly, the belly expands and the ribs puff out and the chest lifts and even the throat sort of opens up, expands. Even feel what it's like on the tongue and the back of the throat, and then let all that go. So the opposite happens. The belly will sink, the ribs will hug in, the chest will drop. And then do start to direct the breath in and out. So we'll use the breath a lot. I'll tell you to inhale and make a shape, exhale and make another shape, or inhale and align yourself and exhale, maybe go a little deeper. So now here, start to just hold on to those inhales and exhales a little bit longer, a little bit deeper, just so that when we do start to move, you have that hold over your breath. And just spend here, I will stop talking for, hopefully, I'll try to stop talking for 5 breaths. so that you can do just that. Just start to rein in your breath, direct your breath. And take 3 more. Last big breath. Maybe it goes out the mouth with some noise. Oh, that was a weird one. Okay, if you've fallen asleep, wake yourself back up. Um, Otherwise, if you've made it to the end, just rewind, and you'll get used to my jokes if you're new. Okay, and then bring your bring your right knee into your chest and give it a hug. Okay, we're on track now. We're on track now. Give your right knee a hug into your chest, and whatever degree this is. And if you can't quite grab the knee or the shin, you can reach just for the back of the thigh. So just like a little opening here, and you can even make a few little like circles and then hug the leg in towards you. Just spend like another breath, one more breath. And then if you can, start to bring the right knee towards your right armpit. So again, you can have a hold of the back of the leg or the shin and bringing your right knee towards your right armpit. And again, you could take little circles here. You can even go back to the first shape and out to the armpit, and then just give yourself another like breath or so, just like juicing up, warming up in the legs. Like I said, we have a big leg day today. So just like getting started with the warm up. And then we'll take half happy baby. So again, choices are back of the thigh or outside edge of the foot. So back of the thigh, you'll reach for the back of the thigh and keep bringing the right knee toward the right armpit. If you have this space, you'll reach for the outside of the right foot. And just same thing, bringing the right knee toward the right armpit and starting to find a pretty deep opening in the outer right hip and inner right groin. And the left leg, start to firm it up just so you have sort of like this opposite action happening. So you can use the left heel, flex the left foot, and press the left heel away. So now you do have something happening in the front of the left leg and the inside of the groin on both sides. Maybe. And these are all such like little teeny cues that if you miss them or it's not quite happening for you, that's really no biggie. These are like energetic ideas that we're moving toward, and everybody's body is so different. Okay, last breath. All right, bring the right knee towards center. Again, this time everyone hold on to the back of the hamstring, interlace the fingers behind it, and then to your degree straighten the leg. So if you have a full straight leg, woohoo. If you don't, woohoo. It will get the same benefit here. So you want to hang on to the back of the hamstring, like the belly of the hamstring. And then as you start to flex the right foot and straighten the right leg, again, to your degree, you'll press the hamstring into the leg. So you're really activating the back of the right leg here and then release it. So it's like, again, a teeny movement. You may not even see. I'm sort of accentuating it for camera, but you might not even see a change in your body. So fire up the right hamstring, press the right hamstring into your hand like you're trying to separate your hands. Mine are actually a little sweaty and starting to slip apart. Okay, and then let it go. So I'm going to regrip and do one more. Again, you can straighten the leg or not, but you're just pressing the back of the right leg, the belly of that hamstring, the big muscle in the back of the thigh into that clasp of the hands. And again, maybe they're starting to like slip apart and you're losing your grip. Awesome. And then release. And we've got all of that on the other side. So just bring your right leg down next to your left. And see if you can notice any maybe subtle, minute differences just for a breath. And then bring your left knee into your chest. And again, back of the thigh or front of the shin. Give yourself a choice. For now, you can just let the right leg hang out. But if it would help to make it a little bit stronger, pressing the back of the right leg down toward the mat, flexing the foot, you can. I didn't really cue it on the other side because we are sort of just focusing on the left, the towards you side to start. But do what would feel nice. And then we'll move into that left knee to left armpit. So again, back of the thigh or the shin, and you can release the right hand or keep holding it with both, totally your choice. Just getting a little bit more into that outer hip, inner groin. You could give a few circles back to where you started for another breath. And still here, starting to like just pick up and notice your breath. So just like taking a look at it, and then that half happy baby shape. Again, back of the thigh is perfect or outer edge of the foot. And now, so my right leg is like, blah, I'm going to press through my right heel, flex. And you could also, I'm sorry, always put the foot down on the floor. But if you're okay, press through the right heel, drag the right heel away from the left leg to get sort of like this reactionary space. I don't think that's a real term, but now it is. Okay. And then we'll go into the hamstring contraction. So just take a hold of your left leg in both hands, interlace the hands behind the belly of the hamstring, so the big muscle on the back of the thigh, and then keep press the left leg into the hands, into the clasped hands. And again, if it would help to bring your right leg straight and flex the foot, fine, but really focusing on just the contraction of the back of the left leg. So a lot of times when we're looking for opening, we really need some strength. Ooh, and release. Oh yeah. Okay, 2 more. And release. Again, I'm pressing so hard that the grip of my hands, I need to fix it each time. So press, and it's super subtle. You may not even see that I'm doing it. The quad is sort of lifting here. So if I look at my quad, it's pretty active. Oh, and then release. And stretch that leg out long. One more thing here on our back. Oh, time is flying already. Send your legs up to the sky, and we'll take some leg drops. So you can have your hands down by your sides. A few options here, of course. You can have your hands down by your sides. Even tucking your hands underneath your seat will take away a little bit of the challenge. It's not cheating. And then, but if you're comfortable, you can bring the hands to interlace behind the head. Here you do want to keep your legs as straight as you can, but it's okay if they're not fully straight. Start to contract your belly here. So even just this action will probably have your low belly working to hold your legs up, but if you can, and if you're comfortable, you can lift your head here as well. This will contract a little bit more in the upper body. Take a big breath in, and then as you breathe out, you'll slowly lower your right leg straight down toward the mat. You'll let it hover. Option to modify is just tap your right toes down. So bend the knee and tap your toes, and then bring it right back up on your inhale. Exhale, left leg. Again, knee can be bent. You can just tap the toes. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, right. So we'll just do 5 per side. And the left, and lift for 3 more on the right, and the left, just 2 more per side. Belly is super firm, legs are firm. They'll actually be lighter if they're stronger. That's not proven, but try it out. Try to like flex the muscles in your quad. I'm pointing my toe to sort of accentuate that. Nice. And then hug the knees into your chest. We'll do plenty more belly work. So just a little taste there, getting the belly nice and warm. I like a full body stretch, but whatever you like here to sort of loosen up the belly again. And then we'll make our way to tabletop, hands and knees. So you can either roll back and forth a few times, or if you like a press off to the side to come up to hands and knees. I somehow always end up at the top, very top of my mat. So I'm gonna make my way to the center of the mat. Again, that blanket could be there across for your knees, and just take a few cows and cats. If you don't know cow and cat, come with me for cow pose. Drop your belly, let your tail really spill forward so like your butt sticks out and your heart is opening forward. So the center of my heart is pointing forward while my belly is pointing down. And then start to arch the spine, round the back, hug the belly button up towards the ceiling. And now the tail is tucked under. So you're almost like pressing your hips forward. And the heart is curled in. So the shoulder blades separate on the back to almost make a shell for it. And then just a couple more like that. Belly down, chest forward. Belly up, heart in. And then 1 or 2 more. Just take 3 breaths to wiggle around as you see fit. So a few more cats and cows, maybe a nice early child's pose. Just anything here to get the wiggles and the shakes out before I tell you what to do for the rest of class. But of course, I will give some options, and then you just take what you need here. All right, come back to a really firm tabletop. So press your hands down into the mat. Even press your finger pads and your knuckles down. Spin your biceps forward. So the eyes of the elbows are looking forward. Shoulder blades onto the back. I want you to make this super strong because I'm going to ask you to move. So belly is in, hugged in. So you're in neutral. You're not in cat and cow. You're in neutral so that your belly can be super firm and the spine can be long. And then send the right leg to the back of the mat just for one little back and forth. You can take a little quad stretch here with the toes tucked on the mat. And then hug the belly and hug the leg into the socket and let the leg hover up. Nice. So the leg is super strong here, and the back of the leg is long, and the front of the leg is contracted. So lift the quad. I just did it, and my leg lifted like another half of an inch. Take a big breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to bring the right knee in towards your chest. You can round a little bit, but this is about squeezing the hamstring. So now the calf and the hamstring are contracting, and the front of the leg is stretching. Stretch it back out, and in. Out. And in. So you've got 10. So for 7, speed it up a little bit if you can. Otherwise, just as many as you can sort of get in the next couple of breaths for 5, 4. Rest of the body is firm. So see if the left hip is winging out to the left, hug it back in for 2. Oh yeah, and 1. Nice. Now step the right foot outside of the right hand. You can grab your blocks here, tented fingertips, and then start to shift the hips right back for a wide half split. So just try to get into, again, the belly of the hamstring, a little bit different than when you have the leg straight forward, and it'll be a nice counter for what we just did. Take one more breath. You can start to sort of lengthen the sides of the waist forward to get a little bit more out of this. And let that breath go. So to walk yourself forward, you're in a nice wide lizard lunge. Again, hands on blocks or fingertips. Left hand down, right fingertips up toward the sky. Twist this open. Try to lift out of your left side and spin your chest toward the right side of your mat. Sharpen the right elbow. Take one more big breath here. As you release that breath, bring your right arm over your ear. Nice stretch in the right side body. So again, spin your left side under your right side as the right side opens up even more. Last breath like this. Bring the right hand back down to the mat. Tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee. Just hang out here for a second. You can take like one little wiggle. And then we'll move this into a Skandasana side lunge. So take a walk down the long left edge of your mat. Start to lean into your left knee. And then your right knee, and I'm keeping this low to start, really just an opening. We'll do some sort of side lunge work later on in class, but for now, just let this feel good. You could take it pretty low if you like, but this is sort of just like a little warm up, a little stretch. All right, next time you come to the right, spin your toes around toward the front of your mat, tap your left knee down, and reach your arms up for a low lunge. We'll just be here a sec, but take a mini back bend. So feel the shoulder blades on the back, sending your heart forward just like cow pose. Nice. So now the heart is reaching up toward the sky. That's sort of the front. Last breath in. As you breathe out, hands to the mat, step forward to fold. Halfway lift, palms to shins or blocks or hips. Long spine, like slinky the spine and the ribs forward. And then fold. Press into the feet, come up, reach up. And fold all the way back down. We'll keep moving. Lift up halfway. In the interest of a 40-minute class, plant the palms, step the right foot and the left foot back for plank pose, and then tap the left knee down. So let it be long, tap it back down like it's still in plank pose, not table. You can spin the left shin out to the left, pivot the right foot down and come into supported side plank. So you're on the left hand, left shin. Float your right leg up and bend the right knee. If you can and you'd like to, reach back for the foot. This is just a nice sneaky quad stretch in here. So keep the hips moving forward so they're in line with that knee. So not really a tuck of the tail, but you do want it to be pretty neutral. And this is just sort of feel good. So if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. You can just let the right leg float or keep it hugging in. Nice. And then re-extend the right leg. I'm just watching out for my wall. Re-extend the right leg, pivot back toward plank pose, and just send your right knee to meet your left. Again, you want to be in a long plank and not a tabletop. Let your belly drop like cow pose. Again, we'll take knees, chest, and chin. So that's just what it sounds like. We're just letting the belly drop first so that the chest and the chin go down. The butt stays lifted up. So drop the chest down. Think about dropping the chest down. Nice. And then we're going to go right back up. So hug the elbows in, press the floor away. Nice. We'll do that one more time. Lower it slowly down. Keep hugging the elbows in. And then press it back up. All right. Lower back down last time. Stretch out long so the belly can press down to the mat and come into a Sphinx pose. So forearms come parallel with the elbows underneath the shoulders. Grip the mat or the floor in front of you and send your heart forward. Again, this sort of back bend in the upper back where the shoulder blades are like hands pressing your chest forward. Last breath. Let it go. You can keep the forearms down, tuck the toe. You don't need to tuck the toes, sorry. Lift your hips up and back for a puppy pose. So this is like child's pose, but with the forearms down. So from Sphinx pose, again, you'll just press the forearms down and lift the hips up and back, bringing the forehead towards the mat. It could land there or not. And this is just a nice stretch for those inner muscles on the ribs. Awesome. From here, just press down if your head's not lifted, and you can shift a little bit forward so your shoulders come over your elbows again, and then now press yourself up to tabletop. So now you're in tabletop versus that plank shape with the hands underneath the shoulders. Just take one cow pose, belly drops. Cow and cat seem so simple, but they really are the foundation. They're such a great foundation to sort of cue other shapes. So it's always nice to include them. It's also a nice way to rinse out each side. Send the left foot to the back of the mat. Again, you can keep the toes tucked and take a nice calf stretch for 1 or 2 wiggles. Firm up everything else. Eyes of the elbows look forward, shoulder blades on the back, belly lifts up, and then lift the left leg. And again, really engage the front of the left leg. So I just hugged the leg into its socket, lifted the quad, and there was a little bit of actual visual movement there. Now hug the knee into the chest. You can round the upper back a little bit. It's not like knee to nose, but the point here is to contract the hamstring. So you're squeezing the calf toward the hamstring so that the back of the leg is sore tomorrow. You're welcome. Re-extend and hug it in. So we'll go a little faster for 8 more, for 7. So I really am lifting my quad up onto the bone every time I send it out, and then squeezing my hamstring up. And so notice that the opposite is happening. I think we're at 4. So when my quad lifts, my hamstring lengthens. When my hamstring contracts, my quad lengthens. All right, let's do 2 more because I'm not counting. Last one, stretch it long, and then step the left foot outside of the left hand. Right away, bump the hips back. So you're pretty wide with the left foot. Again, it will sort of really open up the belly of the hamstring we've been talking about. Fingertips are tented or on blocks, and you can let the head go here. Oh, this side is tighter. We'll take 1 more breath. So if you like, you can use the grip of your finger pads to sort of pull the chest long and forward. And then maybe you have a little bit more space on your breath out. All right, walk it forward again into your lizard. Let this feel a nice opening. And then right hand down, left fingertips high. Peel open. Lift out of the right side to bring the right ribs underneath the left, chest toward the left side of the mat. 1 more breath like this. Inhale. As you breathe out, arm over the ear, extend through that left side. Take a big breath here. Nice. And then both hands inside, again, the left leg. Tuck the back toes, lift up. Let this feel nice. Maybe a little wiggle or a circle. And then start to walk down the long right edge of your mat. Bend into the right knee. A few Skandasana side lunges. Let them just feel nice and staying pretty low. You could always lift the hands. These could be teensy, right? Or these could be deep. So totally what your mobility is feeling like right now. Changes pretty much day to day. And then as you come to the left again, toes forward, right knee down, a breath in low lunge with a teeny back bend. So reach up, open up the right hip flexor and send the heart forward and up. Again, those hands are your shoulder blades, pressing the heart forward. Hands to the mat and step forward, fold. Lift up, long, long spine, fold. Press through the feet, find momentum upward, lift up, and fold all the way back down. Lift up halfway, plant your palms, step your left foot and your right foot for plank pose. Right knee taps down long in plank pose. You can swing the right shin out, plant the left foot, left arm high, float the left leg up, hug the belly in, Bend the left knee again. Stay here. You can reach back, take a nice quad stretch. And we'll just be here for a couple of breaths. Again, this is sort of feel good. Do lift out of the right side if you can. But let this feel nice in the left quad. Last breath like this. Whoo! Try not to, as I did, slingshot the foot out of your hand. I think my palms are sweaty. Swing back into a three-legged plank pose, or your right knee is down, and then send your left knee to meet your right. If you need to, you can rejigger in plank pose and tap the knees down. Belly drops, heart forwards like a mini cow as you let your chest fall down to the mat. 2 times, press the mat away. And lower down. Hug the elbows toward the ribs. Press up. And whatever range you get here, if lowering down to you looks like this, and then sort of a flop, every day it will get a little bit easier, or maybe that's just your range. All phases of that are perfect and still working. Sphinx Pose, forearms down, heart forward, grip, open up. Puppy Pose, press through the forearms, belly will have to lift you up, and then send your hips back. Your forehead can come down or not. This is just, again, a nice stretch outside the ribs. And then just shift a little bit forward, shoulders over wrist. Press yourself up to table. And now either back to child's pose or come into a seat. So this is one of those rests we worked in. So come to a resting place. Time is flying. All right. I don't know. We'll see if we get to everything. All right, we're gonna move into down dog. If you have a way you love to get there, by all means, go on your own. If you're coming with me, you're in a nice long child's pose. And then you'll tuck the toes and lift the knees off the mat. So keep your butt glued toward your heels and float your knees. So your quads light up right away, and then spin, eyes of the elbows forward, shoulder blades onto the back, and then press the quads straight. So press the quads to lift the hips up and back, and the legs lengthen in the back. So just feeling the relationship of what the legs are doing here, just because we've been working on them. If you want to try that again, you could come back into that crouching, floating child's pose, and then use the quads to send you into down dog. Nice. All right, step the right foot forward, step it in between your hands. Reach up into a high lunge just for a big breath in. And then as you breathe out, you're going to open up to the left side of your mat. And I'm doing opposite you for now, just so I'm facing you. And then you can either step your feet into center or hop them into the center of your mat. So just fancy way to stand up at the center of our mat. We're going to go into, as promised, some side lunge work. So from here, you can have your hands on your hips or bring your hands to the center of your chest. And for 3 times per side, we're going to step out. So step out outside of your mat. So if you're in the center of your mat, you'll probably land outside of your mat. So with the right foot, and then you'll bend into the right knee. So sort of like Skandasana, but really make sure you're loading this leg. So the whole outer right hip and the right hamstring are basically holding you up, right? And the belly is probably doing a lot of that work too. Whew, already I feel it. Come back to center. We'll do one more slow on the left side. So again, okay, I may have misjudged, but probably stepping outside of your mat somewhere. And you can do like a little step, 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 step. If you have downstairs neighbors and you tend to step heavily like I do. And then again, try to lean all the way into the right side, almost like you were going to grab your left foot and bring it in, but we're not. We're just going to stay lateral. So my right butt, glute, hamstring, quad, holding this up. My belly's holding my chest up. All right, back to center. We'll do 2 more faster on each side. So step out to the right and to center, to left and to center. 1 more to the right and to the left. Nice. Come back to center. You can either step or hop out wide. We'll come into goddess pose. So heels in, toes out. Traditional goddess shape with the arms, these cactus arms. Let the seat drop low. And then pull your knees outward. So mine just knock in naturally. So annoying. But I'm working by wrapping my quads away from each other to pull those knees outward. All right, big breath in, open the chest up wide. As you breathe out, you're going to start to press the arms together in front of you. And inhale, if the arms don't press together, no probs, keep them separated. On the breath in, start to lift the elbows up toward the sky so you get a little taste of that mini back bend. And then send the arms back out wide. We'll do that one more time. Inhale, open up. Exhale, press. Inhale, lift the elbows, heart forward and up. And open the arms out wide. Nice. Bring the hands, to your hips. Send the heels out long and then dive down over your legs. Just take a nice forward fold here. Any variation with the arms that you like. All right, and then start to walk your hands toward the top of the mat. Spin the right toes forward and step back into plank pose. We're going to hold it here in plank pose for a count of 10. Shoulder blades onto the back. Lift the quads for 8. For 7. That was like the longest. 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tap the knees down, lower all the way down. Don't worry, we won't press back up. Cobra Pose. So again, heart forward and up. We've been working on that a lot. Palms are down on the mat. Heart forward and up. See if you can press your feet down and then do slide forward and up. Think like a cobra. Downward facing dog. You can move through tabletop or plank pose. Take a big breath in and let that go. Step the left foot in between the hands. Just take one big breath in, high lunge. Open up to the right. Step, step, or hop, feet together. And we'll do those side lunges. We'll take left, right this time. So step out wide to the left. Load the left leg. Center to right. So there is a bonus stretch on this side, absolutely. But just make sure you're loading that side. Nice. To the left. And center. To the right. And center. Again, hands can be at the hips or at the chest. One more time. And step it out. Come back to center. We've got Goddess Pose again. Same thing this side. Step, step, or hop. Heels in, toes out. Traditional Goddess arms. Take a big breath in. Stretch the elbows away from each other. As you breathe out, press them together. Inhale. Lift the heart forward and up. Exhale. Send the arms wide. One more. Inhale, open. Exhale, press. Lift up. And open wide. Nice. Hands to the hips. Spin the heels out. And fold down over your legs. Nice. Walk yourself toward the front of the mat. Spin the toes forward. Step back. Plank pose for 10. Firm everything up for 9. Lift the quads. Notice again, you lift the quads and the backs of the legs are long. So just noticing that relationship for 5. Knees can always be down for 3, 2, 1.5, 1. Knees up or down. You can send the shoulder blades forward and lower down. Cobra Pose, heart forward and up. If you want one upward facing dog for class, you can straighten the arms. You're on the tops of the feet and the hands. Same idea. Lift the belly here and send the heart forward and up. Downward facing dog. Nice. Just tap the knees down. Give yourself a moment here. Time flies, man. 40 minutes. It's a great way to get your yoga in the middle of the day, though. Or whenever you're taking this, if you're on replay. All right, so we missed a little bit of lunge work. If you want more awesome leg and belly work, we'll be continuing this theme in Saturday's class. For now, we're going to take a nice, squishy, propped up pigeon pose. So like sort of undoing a lot of the contraction in the legs we did. So we did work on the idea of contraction on one side, lengthening in the other. But this will be a nice way to sort of undo all those lunges. So I have 2 blocks. If you're working with blocks, you're going to set them up side by side, narrowest way. So you have basically like a block barrier line at the top of your mat, about at the quarter of the way back. So if you know Pigeon Pose, sort of your upper body will be here. And then I'm going to use a pillow as well and pile a pillow on top of this block setup, and then we'll actually sit on the pillow. So if you don't have blocks, you can pile 2 pillows. You could roll up a blanket and have a pillow. Any combo of blocks, pillows, blankets here is perfect. And then we'll sort of awkwardly move toward the front. So we'll do, if you have a better way to get into pigeon, if you don't want to use props, totally fine. If you want to do figure 4 instead, I'll sort of give you a few stops on the way here. So you could actually just stay here propped up. If you're going to do that, have your right shin be in front. If you're coming with me, actually, let's all have the right shin in front. Right shin in front. Okay. So you could stay here. So this is a hip opener for sure. You'll have your shins crossed one in front of the other. You could even stack your right ankle on top of your left knee. If you're coming with me, you'll unravel your left leg back behind you. So I sort of just like this setup to come in, especially when you're super propped up, so that you're up on the prop and then you can finagle your body. So this could be enough as well. You can send your left knee bent behind you, just like your right knee is in front of you, both sort of at right angles. This is a version of a hip opener called Deer Pose, and you could stay like this upright or folded. I love this. This is plenty for me in my hip. If you want to continue to pigeon pose, you just straighten the left leg behind you. And again, you might just need a little bit of finagling on your props. I love having props on both sides. When you lift up just one side, the other side tends to sag down. All right. Being upright is a bit of a back bend. If that's okay for you, you might want to stay upright for a moment, fixing your alignment, hugging your right hip back and your left forward. You could also do this down on fingertips. I also find with the props, I'm getting like a true parallel shin to the front edge of the mat, which isn't necessarily super important, but it does give you a little bit more opening versus like a deeper shape. And then just peek back at the left side, have it be long and straight. So hip, knee, ankle, toes are in line. And then you can stay here or you can start to fold forward. You're pretty high up on the props, so if you have more props to put underneath your forehead, you could grab those. Again, if you have another version, absolutely, but I suggest just trying out something, if this is new for you, something new, because it really is just like a directed opening in like one spot. So just like 5 or so more breaths because I did a lot of chatting getting into it. If you want to stay, of course stay, and then this is sort of it. We'll do a few seated shapes in between sides and then go into our back. So if you want to stay anywhere, you can always catch up or sort of skip the seated shapes. If you're coming with me, for me to tell you what to do, you'll bring your left foot back around in front of you, and again, you might need some awkward shuffling on your props. Keep your right shin in front just for now. Sit up tall and reach your arms up. And then bend the right elbow and take a hold of the right elbow with the left hand. Another nice side body stretch here, and you can start to reach the elbow up toward the sky. Press the head into the backs of the arms so you are super tall, and then arc it over to the left so the right side gets a really big opening. And just another breath. Awesome. Release and take a gentle, you'll reach your arms up again and take a gentle twist off to the right. So you can have right hand, right hip. If it reaches down behind you, you can. Left hand can come to the knee. And do sit up really tall here. You know, it's a little awkward on the props. You can even have your right hand on the prop. Anything for maybe a little bit of leverage, but just like a gentle twist open. Nothing crazy. All right, and then pigeon pose, second side. So you'll switch, have your left shin be in front. So this just sets you up so that the shin is already where it needs to be. And then again, options, you can stay here. You can stack the left ankle on the right knee. You can send the right knee bent back behind you in that sort of deer shape, and sort of every stop along the way, I have more finagling on the props. But again, I've given you my spiel that I find them super worth it. So you can stay here. This is perfect. You could also send the right leg long behind you, and you are trying to keep the left shin parallel, but if the left heel sort of comes in towards your groin, that's absolutely fine. If sitting up tall feels okay on the low back, do it. Otherwise, you can be on tented fingertips. Hug the left hip back and the right forward, so there was like visible movement there for me. And then just take a peek back that the hip, knee, ankle, and toesies are in line. And then again, you can stay upright here for 5 or so breaths, or you can come down onto props or forearms. For me, I'm backing it back up. Forearms was a bit much. So very, very tight hips here. And so when we're tight, a lot of times we're weak. So that's why like this strength and stretch class, for me, it was a great addition that I wanted to offer, because strengthening some of these, like yoga is not all about the stretch, and we all know that. So strengthening sometimes can like unlock some magic and open up new shapes for us. So it really is about a balance and equilibrium of strength and stretch. Take 2 more breaths. And come back to seated. So again, we'll sit with the left shin in front. Do your as much finagling as you need. I sort of like undid the whole shape. And then reach your arms up. Big breath. Left elbow bends. Take a hold of it. And then pressing the head back so that I'm sitting up tall. Hug the ribs back in if they took a jut out. And then reach up and over to the right. So you get a nice stretch in the left side for a breath. As you breathe in, reach your arms back up and take a gentle twist over to the left. Just super gentle. Wow, my flowers are dead. I don't know if you can tell. I shouldn't have told you. But it's time for some new life. Okay, back to center. We are going to go down onto our back just for like, actually, let's stay. If you want Shavasana on your back, totally take it. If you're comfortable here on your seat, because it's a 40-minute class, I don't want to jip you of rest. So if you have time, take it. And of course, I took up too much of your time. So if you have time, take Shavasana. You can even shut off the stream. If you're coming with me, we're just going to sit in meditation for about 10 breaths. I'll count for you. Try to let your directed breath go. So if you're on a nice, comfy, propped up seat, this is a great place to stay. If you want to switch the cross of your legs or stretch them out long, by all means. Otherwise, get yourself seated up pretty tall. Roll your shoulders onto your back. And if you want to bring any intention or any mantra or any sort of enlightening phrase, if you're having a little trouble settling, maybe something along the lines of I am strong, or strength and power, or just like blah, I am on my mat. So just take 5 more breaths. If you're not seated, you can join us in a seat now or stay. And you can either let your hands stay wherever they are or bring them to the center of your heart, either pressing or resting at the center of your chest, one on top of the other, or pressed into one another. We'll just take one final breath to finish class. Inhale and let that breath go. With gratitude, press my palms together. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit over. I hate that, especially in a 40-minute class, because it really is meant to be efficient and not take up more than 40 minutes of your time. But something for me to work on. I think we were only 2 minutes over. If you have questions, comments, concerns, hellos, anything, you can reach me, Dana@coolidgeyoga.com, or I am on Facebook. That's sort of my only social media, but you can find me, Dana Einhorn, on Facebook. Otherwise, have a great week. I'll be back on Saturday. My Saturday class is now at 2 p.m. and it is a $6 community class. So nothing has changed about the format. It's still an hour. Awesome vinyasa class, but it is $6 open to, like, to the public. So for non-members, members it's included. But if you're paying like on a class pack, that one's only $6 separately. Or like if you want friends to take it, or you want to recommend a class to family, $6 is a pro deal to like get you in. And also like just to open it up to the community and share what we're doing here. So that's my spiel. Again, get in touch if you need anything or want to say hi. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a lovely day, a lovely week. Thank you.